Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone. Costas does it again. It's gone. It's into the bullpen. This game is tied.
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high. It's deep. It's back. It's gone. Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
Welcome back to Play Tessie. It's episode 173. This is the official Red Sox podcast of WEI. Before we get going, remember, hit that subscribe button, rate us 5 stars wherever you're getting your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube on the WEI channel. We've got the Play Tessie playlist there, has all of our episodes. So subscribe to WEI, hit the thumbs up on those videos, and follow us on the socials at Play Tessie on both Twitter and Instagram. No Sammy today, but we got Pat, and we got a very special guest. Rob Bradford, Bradfo, the podfather himself, is back to join us. And I guess we're here. I don't know. We're here to cope a little bit. I don't know. We're fresh off that Bills Chiefs finish, and I don't know about you. I just cannot stand either. The Eagles.
Come on,
get
your mind right. Get your mind right.
I can't.
Focus. I'm playing the role of Sammy. All right. Sammy would tell you to focus right now. Focus up. This
so,
isn't
Mike,
a
okay.
podcast about the Chiefs and the Bills or the Eagles or the Commanders, the Super Bowl.
All right, Rob. I'll focus in
Boston Red Sox.
I'll cope in a different way because I've basically been like I wouldn't say rage tweeting because I'm not there yet. You'll know if I'm rage tweeting, but it's not coping either. I don't know. It's just like frustration tweeting about this Alex Bregman stuff for the better part of 2 or 3 days. Basically since since the reports of the Ryan Presley thing, which now is done. Like, he's a Cub. So the Astros have freed up that money, which I don't know about you guys. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. That, like, Bregman's going back to Houston.
Oh, I mean, I felt like once that report came out that the 6-year deal was still on the table from Houston and Altuve was going to play outfield, I'm like, that's for me, that was where it was. Everything changed. Now, people could wake up and listen to this and the Red Sox could sign Bregman. That's our disclaimer. I'm giving you a disclaimer, all right? Because the world of podcasting, this stuff happens. But I think as we sit here, it started to me back then because I thought that, if Houston was going to be involved in any shape or form, he was going to be drawn to them. It was going to exactly what was going to happen happened, with the players, with the teammates, with the franchise, with the organization, with the community, all of it would be drawn back. And then when you hear 6 years, the Red Sox, and we can get into this, I mean, the fact that they weren't going to go, never felt like they were going to go 6 years.
So I have a question for you, Rob. Like,
yes,
this offer, this 6-year offer, supposedly, and I guess it sort of depends on where you look, but I think the common thought here is that offer never actually left the table. So if that's the case, like, why?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? You think, because they did say they re-engaged this week, but then you'll also see people say that offer technically wasn't ever off the table.
I think what happened, and listen, this is just an educated guess, but when you sign Christian Walker, when you trade for Isaac Paredes, and I think you can go back and there's probably quotes from the Houston people saying it's going to be a long shot now, right? Right, Pat? You're not your head.
Yeah, there were some comments regarding that, like, it looked bleak or the door was shut in some capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said it too. Yeah, you're right. From Dana Brown, he did say it.
The scuttlebutt throughout baseball was, well, Bregman's market's dropping. Like, would he ever be able, forget about 7 years, would he be able to get this 6-year offer? And so, and honestly, I felt the Red Sox were falling into that world, probably Detroit as well, where you're like, oh, well, Houston's out. That we know that they offered 6 years, but we don't have to offer him 6 years because Houston's out. So we're going to play the market and let's see if Bregman's market falls and falls and falls and falls. But I do think that the dynamic changed with Houston over the last few weeks where, as I said, I think you just have so many voices, including one of the most powerful voices is Jose Altuve saying he'll play outfield. So there you go.
Do you think this could have been different? Because this is going to be something that I think a lot of Red Sox fans talk about, particularly for this year. We'll see how far into the future. It depends on how they do. But the way I'm thinking is, what if the Red Sox offered, let's just say 5 years, and they did that in December? Could this have been different? Like obviously, if they'd offered him $200 million, it would have been different. But is there a reasonable price that the Red Sox could have gone to and struck a deal with Bregman before we got to this point where the Astros are back in the race? Because, I mean, we may never know that, but that's going to be where my head goes, is could they have just prevented this?
It just adds up to the point where if Houston isn't in it for a period of time, that's certainly how it feels. And Pat, once again, you can back me up. I'm not misremembering things when it comes to quotes. I think I have the image of Dana Brown basically saying this. Say, listen, maybe it was after the Paredes thing, I don't know, but I said, listen, this is going to be a long shot now. Everybody thought that, and certainly I think that they don't even go down the road with Christian Walker if they honestly think that Alex Bregman is going to be a guy, because we didn't hear the Altuve stuff until this last week. And it feels like we would have heard that Altuve stuff a whole lot earlier. Now, when it comes to the Red Sox, because of that dynamic, why I'm bringing that up is that I do feel like because of that, there was a window to be more aggressive than they were. And this is the thing that drives me nuts. And I know that I was in a car yelling this to you the other day, Gordo, but I will repeat myself, that if you want the player, what drives me nuts is that if you do the bull crap 2 or 3 year offer, oh yeah, we gave like the Schwarber offer. Oh yeah, we're sort of interested, whatever. All right, fine. But if you're like offering 4 years to Alex Bregman, then you kind of saying, well, we want a guy for a significant amount of time. So if you want that guy for the significant amount of time, then get him. Enough. I mean, what is the difference between 5 years? I'll say it, even 6 years, if you want the guy. If you think that guy is a good fit for the next 4 years, then what are you doing playing games for year 5 or even year 6? Figure it out. Because I think the biggest thing is that it's showing that they wanted the guy at some level. They saw all the things that we saw in him. He checked off all the boxes we were checking off, right? So they wanted him for that amount of time. So if you want him, then go get him. And they did. And right now, as we sit here, it doesn't feel like they are. And also, it also feels like because of this Houston dynamic, they missed this window of opportunity, because believe me, for a while there, it sure seemed like you had Detroit and you had the Red Sox at the top of the negotiating table. And I don't think Alex Bregman ever wanted to go to Detroit unless they were going to give him the Carl Crawford treatment. So, yeah.
Crawford treatment. Pat, you got the quote from Dana Brown? What did he say?
I do, just to prove that Rob is not misremembering. This is from December 23rd, so right after, or last day maybe, of winter meetings. I think the negotiations stalled. I thought we made a really competitive offer. We had to pursue other options, ... Paredes is going to play third base and Walker is going to play first base. If that does not definitively say we tried our best, we are out, I don't know what does,
And Pat, like what speaks even louder than the quotes is the actions. Like Rob said, like they're not going to sign Christian Walker if they think they're getting Alex Bregman back.
Yeah.
Like they're just not going to do it.
They thought there was going to go nowhere with Bregman. And so they're like, well, we got to do something. We got to be proactive. So we're going to get Christian Walker. And you know who wasn't proactive? The Red Sox. And I'll come back to it. You have to do the disclaimer here. You never know. He might wake up and he might sign, or they might make a trade, or they might sign someone else. I don't know. But all I know is that all we can go by is what we see right now. And what we see right now is a market for Alex Bregman that absolutely sure looks like it all leads to Houston. And this isn't Bogarts. I mean, let's not get this twisted either. This isn't like, we like the player, but they'll win 11 years, and we aren't going to go to 11 years. Well,
yes.
No one thought
you
should go to 11 years with Xander Bogaerts. And really the Red Sox, what that dynamic was the Red Sox were legit. I was just told this at the winter meetings. The Red Sox were really like, it was the Red Sox and Padres. That's what it was for Bogaerts. But when the Padres blow them up, the Padres did pull the Kyle Crawford. The Padres did pull the David Price. The Padres did pay, the equivalent of, whatever it was. It was $40 million more. So, in this case, X amount of years and X amount of dollars more. But this isn't that. This is not that. 6-year offer from Houston should not blow you out of the water.
But it's not just that though, Rob. The thing that frustrates me the most is that it didn't even need to, because right now, if that 150 whatever is on the table, if you're and let's look at Houston. This is the place that he's been his whole career. This is the place that he's won every year of his career. It's the place he's built his family. He's built his legacy. And let's look at the money too. There's no state income tax there. So not only are you going to have to blow them out of the water for financial reasons, because you got to make sure he's taking home more money, you got to blow him out of the water to make him leave the place that he calls home.
And you know what? And the other part about it is that, yes, Boston Red Sox, the historic franchise, Fenway Park, the place that everyone wants to go to, place everyone says is the best place to play baseball from 7 to 10 or whatever.
It's the Mecca.
Now it's 6:40 to 9:30, whatever. It's not that way anymore. You have to get your head around that, everybody. You have to get it. And this, again, that the Red Sox have to pay more. They have to pay more. You want to play in this market. You want to play this game with free agency. You have to pay more than other teams. And then you factor in everything you did, everything you said about Bregman. It's the rich man, Zach Eflin, right? We're putting that on the T-shirt. Yep. Congratulations, Alex Bregman. You're the rich man, Zach Eflin. But yeah,
but that's why it frustrates me so much is that they just didn't take, and it's not even like it was a short window. It was an extended month-long window where all you had to do was seemingly put a competitive offer on the table, and the guy seems to have wanted to come here, but now with Houston back in.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask Pat this, because he's sitting there with his just looking up stuff on Google. So, looking great. Congratulations on your Super Bowl, by the way.
I knew there was going to be a comment. I knew there was going to be a Nick Sirianni comment.
You're one of the finest coaches in the NFL. Anyway. Yeah, so you did – I lost my train of thought. But you basically – when it came to this, when it came to this whole dynamic, you had the opportunity. You had this opportunity to go to – you had a window – again, this is what I was going to ask Pat. You had this window of like, okay, here we go. Here we go. That's it. But they were I know what I was going to say. What ultimately seemed to happen as we sit here is that they tried to play the market and they got burned. And they'll say, no, we didn't get burned. We set our price. We didn't want to go 4 years. We have Christian Campbell coming up. We have Marcelo Amar. We have David Hamilton. We have all these guys. We have Ceddanne Rafaela. We didn't get burned. We just set our price. Well, that's not the case, because you offered a guy 4 years. You offered a player 4 years. So you were playing the market. You were playing the JD Martinez game. And if it plays out like it seems like it's going to play out, and if it doesn't, I apologize a million times, but it seems like you got burned.
Yeah, I think going back to those Dana Brown comments. So that was probably, we're talking about 6 weeks ago. You had about a 5.5 week window where it was you, Detroit, where he just seems like he doesn't want to be, in Toronto, who may or may not have been in on him. No, so he has an offer, or at that point had an offer 6 for 156. You're telling me that if they got a little bit creative, 5 for 155, 60-year vesting option, deferred money, so many different contract approaches and avenues to go down, they couldn't have got anything done without guaranteeing 6 years? I find that hard to believe. And like you said, Rob, it really did feel like they were just kind of waiting for Bregman to fall into their lap, kind of like JD did. And they got burned badly, really badly.
And I'll add to that too, because like I respect the JD move. It worked. It was one of the best free agent signings.
There was no other teams bidding against him.
But that's what I was gonna say is you're a one-man show in that race, because you're in the American League, where at the time there's only 15 DH spots in baseball. And how many of those 15 DH spots were filled at the time? It's an educated guess on the Red Sox part that there was not going to be another team in on JD Martinez to that extent, being willing to go 9 figures on a deal for him. With Bregman, like, look at the Red Sox. They were only going to fit him because he's a versatile guy, can play second base. Like, this is a guy who can play multiple positions, is a leader for a team that maybe wants to win now, can also be sold as a leader for a team that's trying to bring up kids. That's kind of why it fits so well with the Red Sox, is because that's a little bit of both with the Red Sox. Lead the guys now, lead the kids in the future. What
I just don't understand is that if you wanted to say, all right, we have these guys coming up, they're our second base candidates. Fine. Campbell and Ceddanne Rafaela and Mario, all of them. That's fine. You want to go that route? Fine. But instead you're saying, from what we know, well, we're all willing to go 4 years. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference? The narratives are completely different, because we can tell you why it fits with Bregman, because you play second base for a year. You delay these other guys. Maybe you play Campbell all over the place. I don't know. But Rafael all over the place. You trade somebody. I don't know. But you play Bregman at second for 1 year. Then you move him over to third. Congratulations, Rafi Devers. You played it 1 more year at third base. Now it's time. Let's go. You're DHing or whatever it is. But you move Bregman over, and now you have your young player at second. That's where it fits. But what will happen is they'll say, well, we have our guys. And everyone, by the way, will get excited when these guys hit 800 in spring training, and maybe it'll work out for them. But this isn't like Jordan Montgomery all over again. I'm not going to do that. I was, and why everyone was screaming from the mountaintops about Jordan Montgomery. I know about you guys. Can't remember. Were you screaming?
A little bit.
Yeah. You know why? Here, sit on my couch. I'm going to tell you why. Because you like the idea of Jordan Montgomery. People like the idea of Jordan Montgomery. People
want to see them spend money.
Right.
It's that simple. They have
that's my point.
Rob,
this was different.
Dombrowski left. They've signed 2 free agent contracts of 3 years or longer in 6 years. This is 6 off seasons, and it's 2. It's Story and it's Yoshida. That's it. That's why people want Jordan Montgomery. That's why people just want to see them show that they care.
I know, but this is you're making my point. Is that they like the idea of him almost more. They barely even understood what Jordan Montgomery was. And I don't think everyone thought he would be this bad, certainly. But they like the idea of him just as much as they like the player. With Bregman, yes, they like the idea of them spending money. But what they should do is also understand of why they should like Alex Bregman as the player. And as I said, maybe Bregman's terrible. Maybe his would be a terrible acquisition. Maybe Christian Campbell wins Rookie of the Year. You don't need second base anyway, whatever it is. But as I sit here, I feel pretty confident for a lot of reasons that Alex Bregman is a really good fit. And part of that, one of the boxes of the 10 boxes he checks, is business. Guys, it's business. It's getting kids and families and fans a huge step forward in terms of investing their fandom and belief back in the Boston Red Sox. Because right now, it doesn't feel that way.
And I think a big part of the problem here is the constant feeling of just being gaslit by their upper management. And like last year was full throttle. This year I could give you I have the time I have the timeline on Twitter. Like September 19th, Craig Breslow said O'Neill is probably going to hit free agency, and that's going to be a quote massive hole that we need to fix. On September 30th, we can no longer ask our fans to look to the future to think about a Red Sox team that's capable of winning the division. November 20th, Sam Kennedy says they're down to go into the luxury tax if they need to, and that they want to win 90 to 95 games, win the AL East for multiple years. December 10th, in order to attract this from Breslow, in order to attract free agent talent, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. I think that's the sentiment of our room, and we recognize as we're trying to improve our team, this can't be about doing what feels perfectly comfortable. Fast forward, December 30th. I can say right-handed bats that we feel like play at our park are of interest to us. In a perfect world, we're getting elite level production from a right-handed bat in the middle of the lineup. All of those things were said this offseason. And yet you've got a guy who fits the mold, and the most they're willing to go is 4 years when the guy is going to get 6+. That's the issue here. Is they say these things and they do completely. I don't want to say they do the opposite, because they did get uncomfortable for a trade, but people want to see them spend money when they say they're going to do it.
But can I tell you guys, like, the frustrating thing should be when you get to this level, when you get to 4 or more years with a player, you know, same thing with Max Fried, right? When you get to that level, then win. And if you don't win, make it because the guy didn't want to come there. But the quotes that you just had, Gordo, about getting uncomfortable and understanding we're gonna have to pay more than we want, whatever it is. Well, there's a level of that. Fine, if the way they're approaching it is that approach, whatever they think that is, it's second or third. They still aren't finding the level of discomfort that is a first place finish with these. But
that's why it's so frustrating, is because they say, their words say, we're going to get uncomfortable for free agents. We understand that we can't get guys to come if we're not going to get uncomfortable. 4 years to Alex Bregman, that's very comfortable. Nothing more than 2 years this offseason on any free agent, and the only 2-year deals for Patrick Sandoval, who, like, it's only 2 years because, like, yeah, it's not a 2-year deal. So that's comfortable.
Listen, Teoscar Hernandez is a great example of this, and like about. I thought maybe, once again, who knows when we wake up or when the offseason isn't over. I am more wary of these very definitive statements than most, because I do think that it's a long offseason and we freak out about a lot of things, and then the next day we're not freaking out about it. But all we can go by is what we see and what we hear and what we know right now. And Teoscar Hernandez, I would hope they would have learned their lesson from last year. And that lesson was, well, we set the price at 2 years. Teoscar Hernandez looked into my phone and said, if they offered 3 years, I would have gone to the Red Sox. A year later, they're chasing Teoscar Hernandez again, and they miss out on him again when they could have had the guy. Guess what? Teoscar Hernandez, for a couple more years, would have looked pretty good. Right? We would have been stressing too much about that 3-year contract you gave Teoscar Hernandez. But that's the lesson, is that stop setting the price. It comes back to what JP Ricciardi said, and I know it's a very broad statement, but worry about what you're getting instead of what you're giving up. Just do it once.
I have a question for you guys. Pat, I want to get your take on this first, and then I want to get Rob's take. Because if and when Alex Bregman goes off the board elsewhere, I think we're all assuming it's going to be Houston and it's going to be soon. How are you guys going to feel about the fact that the Red Sox didn't present Tyler O'Neill with a qualifying offer? Because that's something where in the moment I thought, give this guy the qualifying offer. He'll probably take it. But guess what? A 1-year, $20-something million deal with Tyler O'Neill. There are far worse things for a guy who was the second best producer against left-handed pitching in baseball last year. And yes, he strikes out. But guess what? If you landed Juan Soto, if you spent the $700 million there, what's eating another $5-6 million to facilitate a Tyler O'Neill trade if need be. Like, you could have gotten it done. It could have happened. And now if they lose out on Bregman, it's like, okay, what's the backup plan? Because that's going to be where we go next year is what's the backup plan. But let's start with the Tyler O'Neill thing, Pat. Do you think that there's regret there that they didn't give Tyler O'Neill the qualifying offer? Because I thought that was an error in the moment, and I'm more sure of it now than I was even in the moment that was an error not giving that guy the QO.
Yeah, I mean, I think retrospectively, you kind of have to say you would have given him the QO. But I think coming into the offseason, there were so many realistic right-handed bats that they were A, linked to, and B, could have had. Like, you had the Adamases, the Hernandezes, the Alonsos, the Santanders, the Bregmans. There were so many guys that you were like, better long-term than Tyler O'Neill, better than Tyler O'Neill, better than Tyler O'Neill. So when they didn't do it, it was kind of shocking, but you're like, okay, they have plenty of options. We are now a month, 6 weeks from pitchers and catchers, and all of those guys except Bregman are now off the board. Yeah, Tyler O'Neill looked pretty good on a 1-year deal because clearly they don't seem like they're willing to overextend for Bregman, and they have no plug for O'Neill's hole.
Oof.
Oh, that was a tough
Yikes.
one. That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Pat, your face as soon as you said it.
Hold on.
Oh, God.
Do you guys charge for this OnlyFans account?
Ask Pat.
Oh, that was a rough one. That's a rough one.
Pat,
Rob, what do you...
how you're segueing into your new career? I like it.
Oh, that was a rough one.
Rob, what do you think about the Tyler O'Neill not getting the QO? Do you think there's regret there?
No, I mean, yeah. Well, I think that I do think that piece. See if I can do this without like continuing going down this road of vulgarity. That piece they're gonna be able to. I think they're gonna secure that piece. See, you can't say anything now. Right?
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Pat, your face was what made it great.
Yeah.
You said plug, and you're like, how do I write the ship here? Hole.
Anyway, yeah. So I think that's gonna be that's something that I could see like them trading for somebody, But that's not what we're talking about here.
Well, but it's got to be though because once Bregman goes off the board, what?
But
what's left in free agency?
But listen, I mean, yes, they need a right-handed bat, and I still think they can probably trade for a right-handed bat or find a right-handed bat, like whether or Arenado, whatever it is. All I'm saying is that to me, it's two different conversations. To me, it's Alex Bregman is a guy that just fits for what not only this team needs, but this franchise needs more than a player that I can remember in a long, long time. So Trevor Story is a good player. They signed him, but a big reason why they signed him was because they could sell that as the fail-safe when Xander left. They could lowball Xander, and then Xander's going to leave. And then if he leaves, we got Trevor Story. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a guy who is in an organization that desperately needs this type of human being. Like, this is the opportunity to get this. So, yeah. So, I mean, again, I think they'll get a right-handed bat some way. I don't know. But, yeah.
I mean, to your point, you look at the options. I mean, in free agency.
But they should have. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question. Yeah, of course, they should have offered him the qualifying offer. Tyler O'Neill.
You look at the options in free agency. You don't see it. Trade market. Like, we talk about a lot of guys. The only one that we know is available is Nolan Arenado. Like, you follow my Twitter account, you listen to this podcast, you know that the 3 potential trade targets that I like, if not for Bregman, are Carlos Correa, Seiya Suzuki, Luis Robert. Only one of those names right there could bring the type of leadership and veteran presence that Alex Bregman brings, and it's Carlos Correa. But again, none of those 3, like, you don't know if any of those guys are available. And if you're bringing in Nolan Arenado, like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Casas goes if you're bringing in Arenado. Like, unless Cora was serious about the Yoshida left field thing, and Yoshida's going to play left field and Duran's going to be in center, and Arenado could be at third and Devers is your DH.
I didn't take Cora saying that way.
I did not. I took it as
I took that as
value.
Yeah, sure, he might play 5 games in left field. It's like,
I took it as him trying to be like, yeah, like if you thought Yoshida was just a DH, Cardinals, no, he can play the field, please.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's like it's Casas traded. Like how does that make you better? It doesn't.
No, and so let's play this out, right? So you go. They say you trade for, I don't know, who's the guy from the Angels? I keep forgetting his name.
Taylor Ward.
Taylor Ward. Say you trade for Taylor Ward, right? There's your right-handed guy. There's your Tyler O'Neill. You don't make any other moves, and you say, well, we got this competition at second base. We have Rafaela. We have Christian Campbell. We have Meyer. We have Hamilton. Who knows? Someone's going to pop. We like our team. But do you? And another thing we aren't even talking about. We aren't even talking about the other piece that they need. The closer. Do you
think they need Do you think they need a 9th inning guy specifically? Or because I don't
think it's all relative. I think that you need a guy who knows how to pitch in the late innings.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're not taking a flyer on the guy. Whitlock could become that guy. He's done it before, but you don't know coming off injuries. Liam Hendricks, obviously coming off injury. Aroldis Chapman, I don't want to see him as like saving more than 10 save opportunities a year.
He needs to be there for the best lefty in their lineup. He doesn't need to be there.
Slayton's still young.
Slotted in the ninth.
Still Slayton. He's still young. You want, and this is one of the reasons why Chris Martin, they offered like more money to Chris Martin or whatever, because it makes sense. He knows how to. Yeah, he doesn't have velocity, but he knows how to function in those big moments. So you need someone along those lines, but you need someone along those lines at some point.
The way I look at it, and I don't know who your guys' favorites are. The guy I like the most is Tommy Kahnle, and I know everyone hates it on him because he throws all the changeups. Yeah, everyone.
So many changeups.
Anytime I mention this guy's name online, that's like all of the responses are, "Oh, he throws all the changeups." Like, I don't want the guy who throws changeups.
He threw.
They're incredible.
Well, if you anybody,
no one touches it.
Yeah, anybody who throws can throw 50 straight of the same pitch and dominate. I don't care if he has one pitch, and that's what he did going through the World Series, going through the postseason, through like 50 straight changeups. 50.
Yeah, and it works, and he's good for a sub-3 ERA every single year. That's and with me, I'd give Hendricks the first shot at closer, and if it doesn't work, I would try to work Slayton into that job because I think he's your closer of the future.
I think Kahnle is the perfect guy to plug the hole.
Oh, there we
go. You bastard.
Pat, who do you want to see plug in that hole?
Well, I think since Rob said that they offered more money to Chris Martin than the Rangers did, there were 2 guys that immediately stuck out to me that kind of fit that mold. Kirby Yates, who may or may not have signed with the Dodgers.
What the hell's that?
Or David Robertson, who I like the best right now is David Robertson. I think that is your perfect 1-2 year guy, maybe 1+1, but he fills that Chris Martin need to a T. He is perfect for that spot, and I like Kahnle too. Either of the two, really.
Rhode Island man, David Robertson.
Kirby Yates thing, like they're just looking to clear a spot, right?
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought.
Then why? I mean, I agree, but
why,
like,
what?
why the hell would Mark Feinsand wrote an article about like all the best remaining players unsigned? He wrote it like on Friday, and like with the bullpen, he had Kirby Yates in it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When that Kirby Yates day happened, everybody came out and said he was agreed to a deal, right? I mean, it wasn't just like Joe.
So what happened? Yeah, Nightingale said that they agreed to a deal, and then Rosenthal and Heyman said, "We're hearing close. It's very close."
Okay.
And then we never heard anything else ever again.
I would just say this. I remember when our good friend Joe Kelly signed a deal with the Dodgers, or agreed to a deal with the Dodgers after the 2018 season. And it was legit. It came out. It was right after the winter meetings. It was at least 2 weeks before they announced it. And it was all to clear a 40-man spot.
Which the Dodgers do need to do, right?
Right. And,
Because Scott,
sometimes
Scott
it takes longer, but I always remember like, whoa, that took a long time. I mean, this isn't – then there's always the case. You never know. Remember, you guys were like 3 years old, but J.D. Drew, when they went through that, or Mike Napoli, that was a better example.
Napoli one is the one I remember.
I remember Napoli.
You never know, but you have to renegotiate the deal because there's something physically wrong. I don't know. Kirby Yates would have been a good signing.
I would have loved him. That would
I mean, we're guys, time's a ticking.
Are we in February yet? It's getting there. What is it? January 27th or something?
So much for the dream of a fast off season.
I know, and they were so close too. Like they were basically. I mean, we're right now. The Red Sox are a right-handed bat and a reliever away. They were a right-handed bat and a reliever away. What, like before Christmas, right?
5 weeks ago.
When did they get Bueller? That was the last thing they did, right? Besides like Blake Sable or
28th, I think.
Like I'm serious. Like what? Like Bueller
Robert
was the last.
Stock.
Hey, good guy, Robert Stock. Love Robert.
I know
Stock.
you guys had a great interview with him.
So did you, Rob. He's a great dude, and I cannot wait to watch him this spring. Seriously, like the pitching ninja videos of him are crazy. He's a different guy than he was in 2020. It's wild.
It's a great spring training story, and we love good spring training stories.
Not only we need good spring training stories. That's
Who have you guys figured out? This is the most important thing. Who is gonna get? What are you guys gonna do? You have let the play testing listeners decide. Right? This should be a contest.
I like this.
This is a scenario, everybody. All you out there in podcast world. The play testing guys are coming to spring training. There's 3 of them. There's Pat, there's Gordo, and there's Sammy. None of them are related. So take that off the equation.
Yeah.
Okay? You have one bed. You have one couch.
But it's a couch bed.
Oh, it pulls out?
Yeah, it pulls out. So there's technically
that doesn't
could be
matter.
2 spots.
All right. Okay. How? And then you have the floor, which does have an outlet near where you sleep, which I know, Gordo, you're a big fan of.
Do you know that, or are you assuming that?
We can put a blanket near an outlet. There you go.
All right. So it's an option.
So put up this poll, Joe Braverman, or do however you can do it. What should the sleeping arrangements be for the play testing guys? Should it be Gordo and Sammy sleeping in the same bed and Pat on the couch? Should it be Pat and Gordo sleeping on the couch with Sammy having the bed? I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. Forget about the Red Sox offseason. This is the most complex question that we're going to get.
We need to figure something out first. Pat, so I've slept in the same room as Pat, I believe, twice. 2 winter weekends. Pat,
yep,
do I have it right? Do you snore? I think you snore, right?
I might, yeah.
He snores. Okay, so this could be interesting. If Pat gets doubled up, and Rob, if Pat gets put in the living room, that might impact you too.
Nothing impacts me. It's my house.
Yeah,
I'm
I know, but
in my bed.
Right, but if his snoring is close enough to your bedroom door,
then I will mandate that he moves across the house. Then
he'd be in the bed. Then it's Doug.
Well, there's also what we're forgetting. There's also another. I think there's another couch. There's 2 couches.
Oh, there are 2 couches. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. There is a second couch. It's not a bed, but it is a couch, Pat. But wait, Pat, do I have it right? Hold on, Rob. Do I have it right, Pat, that you love sleeping on floors? Did you say that, or was that someone else?
I wouldn't say I love sleeping on floors. What I would say is I have slept on kitchen islands, floors, countertop. Like I could sleep anywhere.
Okay, perfect.
Pool
There.
table?
Then settled.
Probably.
Okay.
Settled. The other part, we could also have someone sleep in Doug Lane's bed, engineer for WEI.
If that's an option on whatever sort of poll we put out there, it's gonna win.
We
got to get.
It's not an option. It's not an option for anybody. Zero
We're
people.
putting Sammy in the bed.
We're talking about, you know how like the Red Sox right now cannot sign Juan Soto. That the odds of someone sleeping in Doug Lane's room in the spring training house is the same as Red Sox being able to sign Juan Soto right now. So yeah.
Why are you saying? Because Doug wouldn't allow it?
Yeah. Yes. No.
Okay. I don't know. Is Pat? No, I'm not gonna. Pat. You could sleep Doug.
I love
with Doug.
Listen, maybe you guys could do a contest. Some lucky listener gets to sleep on the couch with Pat.
Whoa.
Double trouble on the couch with Pat.
Come on, don't you care about the podcast? What's wrong?
Pat, this is what you got to do. This is Pat. You're the spring training rookie this year.
They can share a dog bed with Chester. How about that?
Well, that's not at spring training. He's going to be in Boston.
You know what the best part about the spring training house is?
What's that?
It's the bidet.
Oh no, I've never used a bidet and I never will. Yeah. I forgot about this. We had this discussion. You guys called me insane. I can't believe you guys do that.
It's great. It's the best. Nothing says beginning of a baseball season like going to a spring training house with a bidet.
Pat, you use a bidet?
I've never used a bidet, no.
There we go. Because Sammy likes the bidet. Rob likes the bidet. Everyone likes the bidet. My mom has a bidet in her house. They use a bidet. I see it and I bypass it every time.
Basically, I could see the wheels turning in his head. Was this a good idea to commit to spring training?
What have I gotten myself into?
It was a great. I've said this in the group chat. I've said this to them in person. The biggest case of FOMO I've ever had in my entire life was the live updates from spring training last year. I am slaving away at a clinical, working 40 hours a week for free. And Gordo's like, hey, look at this. Me, Sammy, and Tristan Casas hugging it out in the dugout. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Pat,
they did pretty well. First time spring training, they did pretty well. The only time I had to reel them in, I think they were getting a little too giddy at one point, Pat. I walk and they're playing catch like in the middle of conference. What are you doing?
The baseballs are just lying around. They're begging to be tossed.
I understand that.
No, that was a true getting thrown into the fire experience, because like we'd had a couple interviews over the podcast, over the StreamYard. Maybe Sammy had done some. I'd never interviewed anyone in person, and like we certainly had never like been around the Red Sox, and that especially in that capacity. Like my time around the team had only been as like a fan in the ballpark. So we literally the story is that we just got there. Rob picks us up from the airport. We drive straight from the airport to JetBlue Park, and Rob's like, all right, I'll show you around the park. It's not that big, so there's not that much to show. So he takes us. We go see the press box. We go see the media dining area. And he's like, all right, I'll take you down to the field. We go down to the field, and this is maybe within 10 minutes of getting to the ballpark. He introduces us to Tyler O'Neill, and then within 5 to 7 minutes of that, we're sitting in the dugout asking Tristan Casas questions on camera. It was a true getting thrown into the fire experience. Pat, you've had more experience at this point now going to spring training than Sammy and I had last year, so it's not going to be quite the same shock, but it is a crazy experience if you haven't.
Were they playing the Orioles that day?
Yes, because Jackson Holiday was there.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So part of that was you guys are in the dugout. Tyler O'Neill, hey, nice to meet you. Your arms look really big, whatever. And so
they were.
I mean, if Pat was there, he would have said, well, your traps look fantastic. But then Cassis is walking out, and you could hear him say, and Jackson Holliday is walking the other way, and he introduced, hello, I'm Tristan Cassis to Jackson Holliday. He's like, I play first base. Come over and say hi. I'm like
this is what you get being on the field behind the turtle watching BP. Things just happen.
Yeah, it's not that far away. I can't wait for you guys, after all my rants and all my tags, I can't wait for you guys to do the same thing with Alex Bregman in a Red Sox uniform.
When are you going down, Rob?
I go down 13, 14, something like that. My
February,
wife, though, just started driving down today.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. I thought you told me that she was driving down next week. She went down today?
Today. She's stopping.
God. Oh, that's right.
Then,
she's stopping.
Yeah, but yeah, so she doesn't like to publicize it, but she works at she's working at JetBlue Park. I don't know what the big deal is. She didn't want to she stays with you guys, and she works at JetBlue Park.
Jen's the best.
Come over and say hi. And by the way, she's going to be there when the Savannah Bananas are there for 3 games. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun time. I cannot recommend them enough. Like if you're in Fort Myers for whatever reason, 3 straight days. I don't know how I'm sure their tickets sold out like crazy, but get to those guys.
By the way, spoiler, so real quick, we talk a lot about second base. I think I texted you this, Gordo. I'm publicizing the Baseballs and Boring podcast. Plenty of podcasting to go around, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I taped one with Marcelo Meyer, which will probably be dropping around the same time as this, and asked him what position he's playing. And he said he's been playing all different positions. He called the Red Sox early in the offseason to let them know that he wanted to play or was open to playing all different positions. And he's been working out also, drum roll,
catcher
in the outfield.
Oh, catcher. No, the outfield is interesting. I more so see a path for him at second or third base.
Oh yeah,
but like,
of course.
Do you think the outfield when he said it, and like obviously I'm gonna
I think it was the equivalent of Nick York, like he's gonna work out in the outfield.
But was it like I'll play anywhere, and they suggested outfield? It's like, all right, or it's like I'm just gonna make myself as versatile as possible.
Yeah,
I need to be ready to go.
I think right now, I said this to him. It's not rocket science. The most logical path, because he did mention like his goal is to break with a major league team. His path is second base, and I think he can play second base. The problem is for him is for what they are looking for, he almost hits from the wrong side of the plate. And that might be, like if you have Christian Campbell, you have Marcelo Meyer, you have Ceddanne Rafaela, so yeah, there you go. So listen,
I think
after you listen to this.
Yeah. After you're done listening to this show, hit up the Baseballs and Boring podcast. Amazing stuff. And I'll definitely be listening to Marcelo when that drops. I love that. He's a good kid. But maybe like July? What do you think? August? He's gonna need plenty of time.
It's impossible to tell. It's all impossible to tell. I mean, another podcast that we taped for later in the week, Sam Dykstra of MLB Pipeline, because they had put Christian Campbell at number 7, and I saw tweets about this that a lot of executives said that they would have put him at number 1 overall. That's how well regarded he is.
Yeah, I mean, consensus now top 10 prospect, and I just remember mid-season last year there were a lot of evaluators.
Dude, he wasn't in the top 30 of the Red Sox prospects at this time last year.
No, at this time last year, not top 30. But I'm saying like maybe I think it was in the mid-season rankings when it was clear he'd broken out, and there were evaluators questioning. It was because he has a funky looking swing there. Can he catch up to big league velocity? Like, what's it going to look like? And now it kind of seems like that theory's out the window, and this guy's just going to be a stud. And I'm totally here for it because, I mean, now we had that piece in the Globe where I guess he might have the best chance of anybody to start the season on the opening day roster out of the prospects, which I guess isn't a surprise because he hits right-handed, very versatile guy. But it seems more and more likely as time goes on and they don't have a new bat that he's going to be on the opening day roster in the opening day lineup. So Christian Campbell, man, he's a soft-spoken guy, but the dude's a killer at the plate.
Pat's good friends with him.
Oh yeah.
So Pat, you got to know him on the radio.
Yeah.
Him on the radio.
Although
Me and
Barcelo
Rob-
said they don't have the same car.
What? What? How's
Yeah,
that?
I said that.
Who doesn't? Which one is off?
Christian has a slightly downgraded. What is it? BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite that level.
He didn't get that top 2 round money. He got that 4th round money.
All I know is
what
that we're going to say it's all the same cars, and we're going to make an album cover.
Yeah,
Hell
we gotta rock with that. Rob, we gotta wrap soon, but I gotta ask you one question. This is the most important question. It's only for the people who have made it to the end of the podcast get to hear this question. Do you see the tweets from our good pal Anthony, the Red Sox fan?
Oh, the bussin' ones?
Yes, the bussin' ones.
Yeah.
Is this? Am I not responding to him? Is that why?
No. You don't have to respond. I just want to know. I mean, clearly you've seen it. Clearly you've seen the.
No, I feel like
you know that you are bussing.
I feel like this is a question like he's asking you to ask me. Am I seeing?
No. He is not. This is me being curious because I've seen you tagged, and I just want to make sure that you know that you're bussing.
I hit the heart.
Oh, did you? Okay, that's good.
Okay, good.
I
can't see that anymore.
Heart.
Good. Well,
only he can see it.
He tagged you 9 minutes ago. He tagged actually all of us 9 minutes ago. And
right.
He called us all bussin' smart, amazing, nice kings. So throw that a heart.
Yeah, look, I just hit the heart. It just went from 2 to 3. That was
and now I just hit it. It went from 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Beautiful.
But
Sweet.
you know, I can't. I love the guy. I love him, Anthony, the Red Sox fan, right? But I can't say have a bussin' day.
Come on,
Rob, can you
just...
at least admit that the 3 of us are bussin' kings?
Yeah, there's no one busses like you guys.
This is great,
Rob. This has been a bussin' conversation.
I mean, am I wrong? I said bussin'. You're bussin', right? I'm just rephrasing it. No one. It's the act of being bussin'.
That's the 3 of us.
No one busses like you guys.
No. We're bussin'.
Right.
Bussin'.
Right.
Bussin'.
I understand that, but no one busses like you guys.
But buses and bussin', that's 2 different things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take it next level. Well, okay, fine. If it makes you happy, you guys are the bussin'est of all the buses.
Yes.
There we go. Bussin' king.
Well,
you got it. You got it.
You're the bussin' kings.
All right. That's gonna do it for episode. What is it? 173 of the most bussin' podcasts in the Red Sox sphere and the whole baseball sphere and probably the world sphere. 2 most bussin' podcasters here with me, Sammy and Rob, or Pat and Rob. We're missing Sammy, so I guess 2 of the 3 most bussin' podcasters, 3 of the 4. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember to subscribe wherever you're getting your podcast: Spotify, Apple, Odyssey app. Download it, subscribe, rate 5 stars. Find us on YouTube on the WEI channel. We got the Play Tessie playlist there. Has all of our episodes, so you can subscribe to WEI, hit the thumbs up on all the episodes, all that. Support us, support the show. Subscribe to Rob. Baseball Isn't Boring on all your podcast platforms. Follow him on Twitter at Bradfo. Follow at BB Isn't Boring on Twitter and Instagram. Appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Episode 173. Thank you, Rob Bradford, for jumping on with us. This has been Play Tessie. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.